Hey loves, it's Brianna. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a holiday cook with me. I have some super easy but so delicious recipes. I have side dish ideas for you, a main dish idea, and the most delicious dessert. It seriously is so good. I cannot wait to share this with you. If you're returning to my channel, welcome back. It's so good to see you. And if you're new, welcome to my home. I hope you hit that red subscribe button and join our community while you're watching today. But today's recipes are really about keeping it simple because I know this is such a stressful time. I'm like really feeling that this year. So I wanted to find recipes that I could make fast, easy, that were delicious, that were perfect for a smaller Thanksgiving or a smaller holiday gathering or maybe a Friendsgiving. So I hope that these recipes help you if you're looking for a little less stressful prep of a meal. And again, if you want like the full-on traditional Thanksgiving prep, I've got that video for you too. But I hope you enjoyed today's holiday cook with me video. I'm so glad that you're here.
Here's how I would backwards plan for this dinner. So you want to go grocery shopping 2 days before the dinner. Then the day before, you want to make the cheesecake so that it can be in the refrigerator overnight. You can also make the macaroni and cheese because it will taste even better a lot of times reheated the next day. The day of, I was planning for a 3 p.m. dinner. So I'm giving myself an hour to budget for prepping the sheet pan ingredients. It probably is not going to take that long, but better safe than sorry. Then I'm going to start making the sheet pan turkey dinner at 1. And while that is in the oven, I can be making the squash and the salad. And then I gave myself another 15 minutes buffer time for dinner to be ready by 3 p.m.
So for this maple cranberry cheesecake recipe, you will need maple syrup, some cranberry, whole berry cranberry sauce, 2 packages of cream cheese, some vanilla extract, 2 eggs, and then you can make either like the mini pie crust, or you can get just like one of the ready-made graham cracker pie crust. It just kind of like cuts out a lot of work time for this recipe. Did I say sugar? You will need sugar as well. And then I have some whole cranberries and some whipped cream that will be like the topping. Add in your can of cranberry sauce, half a cup of maple syrup. Add your 2 packages of cream cheese, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, half a cup of sugar, and 2 eggs. And blend this all together well. And then I've got my maple syrup and cranberry sauce, and I am just mixing this together over medium-high heat. I'm gonna add a tablespoon of cornstarch just to thicken this up.
Add a very small amount of the cream cheese mixture, and then a little bit of that cranberry maple mixture, and then enough cream cheese mixture to completely cover the top of that cranberry mixture.
If you're looking for other just Thanksgiving recipes or other Christmas holiday recipe ideas, check out the playlist I'm gonna have linked down in my description box below, because I have a full how to prep for Thanksgiving video if that's what you're looking for. I also have tons of other holiday decorating, tablescapes, all the things to just help you prepare and get ready and have as less stressful of the holiday season as possible and have a friend to kind of do all the homemaking things with. That's what I make videos about here on my channel. All right, and I put these on a cookie sheet and I'm popping them in the oven, and they're at 325 for 25 minutes.
And I refrigerated these overnight, so once they're cool the next day, I garnish them with some whipped cream, some sugared cranberries, and a little sprig of rosemary.
Huge thank you to Our Place for sponsoring today's video. You guys see me cooking all the time with my Always pan, and I recently got their perfect pot. I'm obsessed with both of them. They're seriously my favorite pieces of cookware, because if you're trying to go more minimal in your kitchen and declutter a bit, you don't need to look any further than these 2 pieces of cookware. The Always pan does it all. You have a strainer right inside of the pan, so I boil pasta in here. I love the fact that the spoon rest is right on the handle. It seems like common sense. Like, I don't know why more pans do not have this, but it's so nice to make like less of a mess because I'm not having to like put the spoon down on the counter or get like a spoon rest for it. I love it. And the non-toxic ceramic coating just makes cleaning this pan so easy. It just saves me so much time. All the food just wipes right away. And I have to use less oils as well, which I like too. I feel like it makes my cooking so much healthier when I'm using the Always pan and the Perfect Pot. And the Perfect Pot is seriously amazing because on top of being able to obviously cook like larger dishes in this, and I'm so excited for Christmas because I always make spaghetti and meatballs, and this is going to be the perfect pot, quite literally, for that dish. It can also be doubled as a Dutch oven amongst many other things, like you can steam things in here, drain things in here. The list goes on and on and on, but I love the fact that this can go in the oven up to 425 degrees. So it is just so useful, so versatile. And the colors, I'm just obsessed. Mine are the spice color, but they have so many different colors on their website. So whether you're gifting this to yourself or to someone else this holiday season, you can find the color that fits whoever you're gifting these to style perfectly. But these really are, I feel like, the perfect gift to a mom who's trying to go more minimal, someone who loves to cook because they're just such great versatile pieces of cookware, or even like college students or somebody who just needs to have everything all in one. The Perfect Pot, the Always Pan are the perfect gifts. And right now, there's some amazing deals going on. I know if you get the bundle of the Always Pan and the Perfect Pot, you get $100 off if you get them bundled together. Again, I will have the Always Pan and the Perfect Pot from our place linked down in my description box below. So be sure to use that link, and I'll have a code for you guys as well that you can use so you get an amazing discount when you are getting these for gifts this holiday season or gifting for yourself. And huge thank you again to our place for sponsoring today's video. This first side dish recipe is so easy. You need 3 pounds of butternut squash. So I just got in the frozen food section the already diced up butternut squash. Like each of these are a pound. You'll need 1 cup of fresh cranberries, olive oil, salt, cinnamon, honey, and then you'll need some feta cheese and some fresh parsley. In my Always Pan, I'm gonna add some olive oil. And once that has heated up over medium heat, I'm gonna add in my butternut squash. I'm gonna season this with salt. I'm gonna give this a little stir. And I'm gonna cover this until my butternut squash is more tender. And I'll just keep checking on this and stirring it occasionally. While that's cooking, I'm gonna chop up my fresh parsley. All right, now that my squash is cooked up nice and tender, I'm gonna add in my cup of cranberries. And the real key here is you don't wanna add the cranberries before the squash is cooked, or else the cranberries will burst. You wanna add them once the squash is all cooked so that the cranberries just get like a little bit of cooking, but don't burst, or will kind of ruin the look of this dish. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper while these are cooked. Okay, these are all cooked. The cranberries get nice and plump, and then you know that's the time to remove it from the heat. That's the time to remove it from the heat. Okay, and I'm gonna add this to my serving bowl. Okay, so I'm gonna add a sprinkle of cinnamon over the top, then 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey, and then about 1/4 cup of feta cheese. And give like a very gentle zhuzh of a stir. And then I just added a little bit more feta on the top to add some good color. And then you want to do a sprinkle of some fresh parsley. And how gorgeous and easy is this side dish for Thanksgiving? Like, delicious and so pretty. And I say delicious because I have already tried this before, but I'll try it again for you. Oh, the torture. Seriously, it's so good. It's just so good because the butternut squash brings such a good fall flavor, and the feta adds like that creamy, cozy, and the fresh parsley and the cranberries just add like a little zip of freshness. Then there's like the honey and the cinnamon, I'm like smelling how much you like this dish smells so cozy and good for Thanksgiving too because of the honey and cinnamon. It's a really, really good one. So highly, I'm not gonna put my fork back in there again, it's already contaminated. I'm gonna have this for dinner tonight. Everything I'm making, we're having a little family dinner tonight, but highly recommend this if you are looking for a quick and easy Thanksgiving side recipe or like holiday side dish that you need to bring. This one is so good. All right, for this macaroni and cheese recipe, the kids are going to love it. You need a pound of noodles. I'm using the shells. You could also use macaroni noodles, but my kids really like the shells. And 2 cups of heavy cream, 3 cups white cheddar cheese, 1 cup of milk, and I use the entire stick of butter, so 8 tablespoons, and salt, pepper, 1/4 cup of flour, and just a little splash of hot sauce. And I know that might sound weird for macaroni and cheese, but I promise you don't taste the hot sauce. It just tastes amazing. For this macaroni and cheese recipe, I'm gonna start off by boiling water in my perfect pot so that I can cook the shells. I'm adding just a little bit of salt to flavor the water. All right, my water's boiling, so I'm gonna add in my noodles. Okay, you wanna cook the noodles until they're about 1 minute from whenever the box says al dente. These are good, so I'm gonna turn off the heat and we're gonna drain these. And what's really cool about the Perfect Pot, it actually has a built-in drain, so it makes it so easy when you're cooking pasta. All right, now we're gonna make the sauce for the macaroni and cheese. So I have my Perfect Pot and I have it on medium heat, and I'm gonna add in my stick of butter. And we'll get this all nice and melted down. All right, so my butter is melted down, so I'm going to add in my 1/4 cup of flour. Then I'm gonna add in my cream. And then I'm gonna add in the cup of milk. And I use whole wheat flour, by the way, so that's why my flour looks a little brown. If you use regular flour, it won't have those brown speckles in it, but I use whole wheat flour, so that's why. And I'm just going to keep stirring this for about 3 minutes. Okay, my sauce has gotten a little thicker, so I'm going to now add in the hot sauce and the salt and pepper and give it a good stir. And now I'm going to add in my cheese, and I let this set out at room temperature because then it just melts in a little bit better. So I'm just kind of going to add this in by small handfuls, and every time I add a couple, give it a stir into that cream mixture so it starts melting the cheese. And it's going to get thicker and creamier. Oh yeah, we are getting cheesy. And I don't know about your kids, but my kids love macaroni and cheese. My husband also loves macaroni and cheese. He likes all the food my kids like, so I'm basically feeding 4 children over here. A lot of days, but this is such a good side to bring for the kids and the kids at heart for any holiday dinner. It's also just super easy to whip together too if you're looking for something that can be great as leftovers, because macaroni and cheese still tastes great the next day. So if you're looking to meal prep, this is a great recipe for that too. And I'm just stirring right now to make sure that the cheese melts really nice into that cream mixture, because what I don't want is for like the cheese to burn to the bottom of the pan. Which is the Perfect Pot, it's actually really hard for that to even happen. This is kind of like a foolproof pot to use for this recipe, but until you get your Perfect Pot, you want to make sure that you're really stirring to make sure that that cheese doesn't stick and burn to the bottom of your dish, or it's not going to taste that great having some burned macaroni and cheese. Okay, it looks like the cheese is melted really good. It kind of is like a nice thick, cheesy liquid. So I've got my cooked shells, and I'm just going to dump those right into my perfect pot and stir and get those shells nice and coated in that ooey, gooey, delicious cheese. Like, how good does that look right now? Oh my goodness. Does not get much better than this. I think my kids are getting home from school if you hear them yelling outside. I'm gonna turn off the heat on this, and another side dish is done. So easy, so good. They're gonna be so excited. Guess what Mom made? Macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni.
The white shells macaroni and cheese. You see it?
Yeah. Yay!
And I added 1 extra cup of cheese to this because I wanted it to be just a little thicker, and it is thickening up perfectly. So if you like your macaroni and cheese like extra gooey cheesy, just add 1 more cup once you're kind of all done, and it made it so gooey and cheesy. Like, oh, I'm excited to eat it too. I was like kind of making fun of Adam. I'm excited to eat macaroni and cheese tonight too. For a fast taste test of this macaroni and cheese. Guys, this is the best. It is so good. It is so creamy and delicious. It's so good. I mean, I know you can use this for a holiday meal, but really this could be like a weekly staple. It's delicious. Next recipe, we're gonna make a vinaigrette. So you need to finely slice 1 shallot. On medium heat, add a 1/4 cup of olive oil to your pan, and that sliced up shallot. Sliced up shallot. Why can't I say that word? You know what I mean. Then add 2 tablespoons of fresh chopped sage. And that's what I liked about this recipe, is since there was like a lot of overlap of ingredients, it made grocery shopping a little bit easier for this. Then add in 2 tablespoons of honey and 2 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, a 1/4 cup of pomegranate juice, and then you want to add salt and pepper, and then a sprinkle of red pepper flakes. And I'm just going to cook this until those shallots, whatever, until they're cooked down. Okay, so those are cooked down, so I'm just going to turn this off and let it cool. Right, then in a salad bowl, I'm gonna add chopped kale. And then I have this other chopped salad that has Brussels sprouts, cabbage, and broccolini. And I just want this to be all nice and mixed up real good. All right, so now I'm going to add the vinaigrette over the top of the salad. And if you do it when it's a little bit warm still, like not piping hot, but can still be kind of warm, this is like a really nice cozy salad. That's what I kind of like about it, is salads, I feel like a lot of times you think like, oh, really crisp and cool and chill, but I sort of like when there's a warm vinaigrette on salads during fall or winter time, because I feel like it just kind of adds to that season a little bit. And then I'm going to add to the top of this a cup of fresh cranberries. I just like love the color that adds. And then some nice salty pumpkin seeds, or the pepitas. These are just so good on the top of this salad. And then be careful, because if you're cutting a fresh pomegranate, these puppies, they stain everything real bad. So just to warn you. But with a spoon, I just kind of hack away at the little pomegranate seeds after I cut it in half. And these are gonna go then on the top of the salad as well. And you wanna try to avoid getting like the white parts of the shell, because those taste super bitter. Like you just wanna get the seeds. I know a lot of times you can buy like the palm seeds. I sort of think it's sort of worth it than having to hack away at a pomegranate, but they didn't have those at our grocery store here, and the pomegranate, kind of like with the cranberries, they just add such a beautiful holiday color to this salad. Like I just think it's so pretty with the pomegranates and the cranberries and the green kale. Oops, I got some of that white I don't want in there because it tastes bitter. But yeah, I'll keep hacking away at this, but you get the idea. It's just like a really beautiful, rich in color salad, and like so perfect for the holidays with that deep berry color and the greens. But yeah, just be really careful, because I even just got like a little splash of that juice, and you want to wipe that up right away, especially if you have white countertops, because it will stain your countertops immediately. And just make sure none of the little berries like fall onto the floor, because if they do get stepped on, it's probably going to ruin your floors and the shoes too. It's just like really, really powerful dye. Not dye, but you know what I mean? Like the juice is very, very powerful. It will stain. But there we go. The salad is all done. Again, this is like such a great side to bring, especially if you're looking for like something that is a healthier addition to the traditionally like heavier type of fare around the holidays. I just love this one, and it's like so gourmet, so festive, so delicious, so fresh, and just like so gorgeous in color too. Like it's definitely an eye candy type of a salad. This one pan holiday dinner is so good if you're just making like a smaller Thanksgiving or having a smaller holiday meal. You need a stick of butter, a cup and a half of chicken broth. You need 4 cups of stuffing. I'm using the cornbread stuffing. You need a package of pork sausage. I got the country style. You need a boneless turkey breast. This one is like just around 3 pounds, but like 2 to 3 pounds. You need a couple of cups of fresh green beans. I haven't cut off the stems and stuff yet. That's next on my to-do list. 2 sweet potatoes, some chopped fresh sage, a medium-sized onion, 2 celery stalks, and then you need a half a cup of marshmallows, stick of butter, 4 tablespoons of candied pecans, 2 tablespoons brown sugar, salt, pepper, and olive oil. That fresh chopped sage smells so good. So with these green beans, I'm just removing the like hard stem ends from each side. And I just use my finger. I feel like it's easier than actually doing it with a knife. It's just like easier to tear it right off. This is at least how we'd always do it when I was a kid. I think my mom would get green beans even in our garden sometimes, or even at least like from the grocery store, or from like local farmers market, that kind of stuff. We would do this, help her out in the kitchen. This is an 18 by 13 baking dish. I'm just gonna spray the whole thing with cooking spray. Now in my always pan, I'm gonna melt 3 tablespoons of butter. So now that's all melted, I'm gonna add in the onions and celery. And then I'm gonna add in half the package of sausage. And I wanna break up that sausage real good. And you wanna cook this until the veggies are nice and softened and the sausage is no longer pink. Like it will just have a tinge of brown on it. And then I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of that chopped fresh sage and salt and pepper. And then I need to add in my 4 cups of the cornbread stuffing. Finally, the 1.5 cups of the chicken broth. And I'm gonna mix this all together, cook for 1 minute, and then remove it from the heat. And that's just another thing I really love about this pan is how nothing really sticks to it. Like everything comes up so easy when you're cooking. It's awesome. But okay, it's been a minute. I'm gonna turn this off and remove it from the heat. And now I got another piece of tin foil and I'm just gonna spray this with cooking spray as well. very liberally. And I'm using olive oil spray, by the way. Okay, what I want to do is make a mound of this stuffing on this side of the pan. You want to set that turkey breast right on top of the stuffing. Then I melted 3 tablespoons of butter in a bowl in the microwave. And I'm gonna add another teaspoon of sage to this, the fresh sage. And I just kind of wanna drizzle this all over the top of that turkey breast then. Then with the foil, I'm just gonna wrap this all around the turkey breast. And you want the foil to cover it so that the turkey doesn't get burned. I'm actually gonna add just another little piece to the top of this. And then I'm gonna add the sweet potatoes face side down with this side of the pan. Pop this into the oven for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. And then we'll add the green beans and make the toppings for the sweet potatoes. And there's about 10 to 20 minutes left on your turkey. That's when you wanna take the foil off of the turkey. And let that top of that turkey get nice and brown. And then you want to take those green beans and we're going to toss them in some olive oil and salt and pepper. And this is totally optional, but I'm going to add some minced garlic to the green beans, like a big heaping tablespoon of it. I really like my green beans with garlic and olive oil, so I'm going to just zhuzh that around with the green beans too. We're gonna make the butter for the sweet potatoes. So I have the 3 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and I'm gonna add some salt to this as well. And then I'm just going to mix this all together. I feel like it needs more butter, so I'm actually gonna add more butter to this. I'm gonna add like 3 more tablespoons of butter to this. Why not double up the butter? Everything's better with more butter. It's all good. All right, now we're gonna construct these potatoes. So with my fork, I'm just gonna kind of chunk out the insides of these potatoes, and they're like a really nice, like soft mashed potato-y sort of a consistency. So I just wanna get them all like nice and mashed up. And then we'll start mixing in that delicious brown sugar butter with this filling. It's going to taste so good. These are basically going to be dessert potatoes, like literal sweet potatoes. All right, so now you just wanna like quarter up this butter brown sugar mixture over each of the potatoes. And see, it already just kind of starts like melting in when it's on the top there. But you can just kind of start like with the fork, smushing this mixture into the sweet potatoes. Oh my gosh, does that not? It already looks like so good. We're gonna make it even better. Let's wait. I would just say if you're like picking up potatoes in the store, like getting some pretty large sweet potatoes for this, I personally just think is better because you could even then, like when you serve them, you could cut them into quarters even, and everybody could just take a quarter if they're not necessarily ready for a huge half. But I feel like why not? These are like so good. And it takes so much work to put it all together, so it's sort of like, make it worth your while, right? All right, and then I have 4 tablespoons of candied walnuts, and I'm just gonna take these and again, sprinkle them kind of evenly. I can use this instead of my hands. Sprinkle them evenly over the tops of these potatoes. And if this isn't already knocking your socks off with how amazing they look. Now we're gonna add the mini marshmallows. And these, I'm just gonna kind of spread evenly over the tops of these potatoes, and they're gonna bake up and look so good and delicious. Again, these are like legit sweet potatoes. It's like sweet potato heaven over here. I've now removed the turkey breast from the top of the stuffing, and I'm gonna keep the stuffing on the pan so that the parts of it that were underneath the turkey are gonna get a little bit browner and crunchier. And I'm gonna now add those green beans that I mixed with the olive oil and the garlic and the salt and pepper to the pan. And I'm going to then bake this for 15 minutes. All right, and after about 10 or 15 minutes of the turkey breast sitting is when you can slice it. You just wanna let it at least sit for a little bit so that it gets nice and juicy inside before you slice it. Because if you slice it too soon, you kind of lose out on all those juices staying with the meat so that it's nice and tender. I just popped these out of the oven. So I'm gonna slide the green beans over to one side and take that stuffing, put it in the middle. I'm gonna put my sweet potatoes on the other side. Okay, so I have everything on my sheet pan, and I'm gonna put it back in the oven just so that the marshmallows get nice and browned. And just keep an eye on it, but it's probably gonna be about 5 minutes. The stuffing is all nice and browned. The marshmallows are all nice and brown. It looks so good. Green beans are a little bit toasty. And here is the completed holiday dinner all on one pan. Again, this is just like such an easy way to have a delicious holiday dinner all on one pan. So it's like the easiest thing to cook and have ready to go for when your guests come. Quite a feast in this video today. I'm so excited to eat. I don't know about you. I'm gonna do a fast little taste test though, because gotta let you know how this holiday sheet pan turned out with the turkey and the stuffing. Turkey and stuffing is my favorite because when I was a kid, we would always have turkey and stuffing on both Thanksgiving and Christmas. So whenever I have a bite of turkey and stuffing, I'm just like back to all those holiday memories as a child. Mmm. Sorry, I'm gonna talk with my mouth full. So good, so moist. The stuffing with the cornbread is phenomenal, and that sage butter on top of the turkey. It's so moist, so delicious, so good. Such a perfect alternative if you don't want to roast a whole turkey. Like, I heard too that there's only really large sized turkeys this year, or there's like a shortage of smaller sized turkeys. So I think this is a really great alternative if you're looking to still have turkey and stuffing, but not do the whole bird. And now the sweet potatoes. This is like what I'm the most excited to try. With the marshmallows. I got a big bite. Mmm. Mmm. Shut the front door. Those are the best sweet potatoes. Honestly, if you can only make one thing, make the sweet potatoes. Those are phenomenal. I think anybody in your crowd is going to be so happy if you bring those to the table. So good. But thank you so much for watching this video and for cooking with me today. And it's just so fun getting to hang out and do all of the fun homemaking stuff with this YouTube internet family that we have. It's just the coolest thing. So I hope you have a really happy Thanksgiving, a very Merry Christmas. And if you're looking for other Thanksgiving videos, don't forget I have a ton more on my channel. I'll have that playlist linked down below. And huge thank you again to Our Place and the Perfect Pot and the Always Pan for sponsoring this video. They're also linked down in my description box below as well. Thank you again so much for watching, and sending you all the love and aloha from here in Hawaii for this Thanksgiving and Christmas and holiday season. Thanks, love.